4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. Hookah shaka, hookah, hookah, hookah shaka. Phenomena. Tiptoe through the tulips with me.
You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to...
This one's explosive.
We're back and totally jacked. Spilling truth like WikiLeaks on crack. We're the Parapack Reality Rack. Giving denial a heart attack. Mac.
Yes, we are. This is Talk Supernatural Radio, bringing you Supernatural 411 from the U.S. to the U.K., Rhode Island to Easter Island, up north to down under, from the outback to the front door. Yes, even through Pumpkin Town, North Carolina, to 6th of October, Egypt. And if you are listening, you are right where you're supposed to be.
The views and opinions and personalities expressed on this show are those solely of TSR and do represent who we are and what we believe. If you don't like satire, if you find rabbit trailing annoying, if you don't like to laugh, if you can't handle the truth, do not listen to this show. We are not responsible for your nightmares, denial issues, bleeding ears, or annoyance.
Thank God it's Friday, my strange deranged. Thanks for tuning in to TSR. We are Scott and Laugh-A-Lot Heidi Linden. Partners in the natural of supernatural, seeking info and answers for peeps like you.
It's been a busy few weeks, so we apologize for not broadcasting.
Sorry!
We thought we'd let some cool pair news simmer a bit. So tonight we are going to share some feared and weird news.
Tonight we have a crock pot of bizarre paranormal news to serve you. So if you're turning in live and you're not dead, thanks for sharing your Friday night with us. And what better way, really, to share a Friday night? You've worked all hard all week, and God knows I have. In fact, I'm still in work clothes. No naked podcasting. It's getting cooler.
Thank God.
So no more of that. But we need a good Friday like today, and all you people should be surrounded by the campfire, roasting marshmallows, roasting chestnuts, and
No, not
listen.
chestnuts. Not chestnuts yet. That's Christmas.
You can roast them whenever you want to roast them.
No, you don't want to roast chestnuts yet. That's Christmas. If you're going to roast marshmallows right now.
Have you even had a roasted
Even hot
chestnut?
dogs. I've tried one. And
They weren't very good, were they?
No, they just taste like...
I wasn't impressed.
They taste like these nuts. Warm these nuts. No,
You tried on these nuts?
they taste like warm nuts.
All right.
It's nothing.
Okay, let's let that go.
Okay.
And there's that.
Well, if you are listening post-broadcast, we appreciate your time and interest in the show. We try to make things fun, but we will always be real with you. And like Scott said, if you're live, you can hop on the chat tonight on Spreaker.
Right.
The little chat bubble.
Little chat bubble, which nobody ever does.
No, because you know what? Most people listen after.
Most people listen on Monday on the way to work.
Or they're shy.
They're shy?
They don't want to say anything.
They're scared bros and broettes.
Broettes. That's cool. But you know, Friday night, people do stuff, especially this time
There's
of year.
nothing to do but hang out with us on Friday night.
No?
Where are we? We're live, so that means we're sitting here doing this.
This is our way of partay.
Hey.
This is how we party. Woo!
Anyways, our website is TSR Radio. Or
No,
TS Radio.
I always get that mixed up, too.
Yeah, I can see why
See,
you
it's
would.
Talk Supernatural Radio, so TS Radio.
TSRadio.net. And if you want to know more about us and the show, then go there.
Yeah.
Do it.
And you can listen to past broadcasts. You can
Just
listen
do
live.
it,
Do it.
Eat some more bacon. Have some more fries. Just eat it.
You know, it depends on the age of the people listening. some people don't even know what that is. They just think you're
Doesn't
absolutely
matter.
nuts.
That too.
D's nuts.
Why are you saying that tonight?
Because it just
That's
happens.
like 2 or 3, 4 years old now.
I know, but it keeps fitting. I don't know what to do.
Okay, a little self-control.
I'll try.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So what's up and what's going on?
What's up?
First, I wanted to let everybody know a couple weeks ago we did a show with Paratruth Radio. We did it with on the Cthulhu and Slenderman. So it was
We
really
didn't do it with Slenderman.
no on Cthulhu and Slenderman.
Oh, on. Okay,
Did I say
okay.
with?
You know, I'm not even sure right
I don't
now.
even know. Me neither. D's notes.
It says with. Your notes actually
Sorry.
say with.
Well, we did it with Paratruth Radio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we had a lot of fun doing that show.
We did.
You don't remember. It was 3 weeks ago. We've been on a 3-week hiatus, so we are so back.
Well,
But anyways, that was an excellent show because we got into some really interesting aspects of Slender Man, the mythic creature.
yeah,
turned
that's
demonic
such a
and
good guy.
Cthulhu.
He's kind of a bad guy.
He's kind of a bad guy. But you can check out that episode at paratruthradio.com if you want to listen. It was pretty good. So I recommend it. But tonight, we wanted to share some interesting news in the para world. Next week, we're going to be doing our Halloween show. So we're going to be discussing some pretty interesting things.
Trick or treat, my little sweet.
Oh, my word. Okay. I'm not real big into the Halloween thing.
No, neither are we're not.
But everybody else is, and so we are going to do some kind of we're going to do a couple different cool things.
probably.
We might even do a little video live. Oh, yeah.
What?
So, yeah, you just don't know.
Out.
You don't know.
So we wanted to mention this cool event
Yeah.
called the Zombie Walk in Arizona. So if you're a Walking Dead fan, you're going to love this. Phoenix, Arizona has an interesting little tradition called the Zombie Walk. It happens in downtown Phoenix every Halloween season, and it's basically a moving...
Sorry, go ahead.
What are you doing?
Nothing, go ahead.
Why are you interrupting my show? I would
I'm not.
never do that to you.
I'm not interrupting. I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop.
I didn't do
You're
nothing.
so immature.
Why can't you just read?
And you're going to do it again.
I'm not. Okay,
All
go
right,
ahead.
put your hands down.
I
Okay.
was-
It happens in downtown Phoenix every Halloween season. Basically, a moving Walking Dead block party.
Ooh.
Thousands of people dress up.
Except for Glenn and Abe because they're dead.
They're dead. They're gone.
Well, zombies are dead. So, that's sort of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But he wasn't a zombie though.
No, he
Not
wasn't.
Glenn.
But I said they won't be there because they're dead. But aren't the zombies dead? And
Yeah,
that's
but
why
they
they're
got
dead.
their heads smashed and killed and whatever. Once your
I don't-
head's done, you're done. You can't be a zombie.
Right. But
You have to have a head to be a zombie. Duh.
that's true. And I didn't see the
What if
episode.
you're a headless zombie?
Like the Headless Horseman? Ooh,
Yeah.
that would be a good spin.
Right?
Yeah.
But then they'd never see where they're going.
Oh, well, that would make it more.
Well,
Maybe like
that'd be-
Tune in Tokyo. No, people don't know what that is. Go ahead.
No, they don't have visuals.
Go
Do
ahead.
not tweak me there.
Sorry.
Again. May I finish?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm so excited to be back on the air. I love you.
Thousands of people dress up as... I'm afraid you're going to interrupt
I
me.
won't.
can't
I promise
interrupt.
I won't this time.
Thousands of people dress up as zombies or Heidi's and walk a few blocks. I mean, they really go all out for this thing. They really do.
Yeah.
It takes place from 4 to 8 p.m., and there's a $5 donation for anyone who wants to do the walk. And the money goes to the Arizona Hemophilia Association.
Which is a good cause.
Yeah.
It's a blood disease, so it's sort of interesting, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's cool because, $5 isn't much to pay, and to be
No.
part, and it's all being filmed,
Yeah.
and to have all them people slugging down the street as zombies. It's like, that was me.
And
I
if you
was
guys
there.
don't know what we're
What the
talking
heck?
about, YouTube it or just Google it because it's hilarious. Some people are
Really go out.
really go all out, and I mean, I'm sure, like if anything, there are going to be a handful of people that probably go overboard and shouldn't.
There's always a few.
Few bad apples in the bunch, but there's got to be some. I mean, I've seen
Create fruit flies.
there's some very cool zombies.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. Would you want to be part of the walk, or would you want to just stand by and watch? Because if you're walking, you're not going to see everybody goes
I
by.
think I'd like to do both, actually.
Well, you can't. You can't do both. You only pick one. Pick it now.
No, you can pick
Choose
one
wisely.
year and pick one the next year.
But then what if you miss that one?
You walk the walk, you gotta talk the talk.
Brain.
Woo! All right, now, May I finish?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay, this would be the fourth interruption. This event has been going on since 2009. It's estimated that between participants and spectators, they draw in more than 20,000 people.
Wow.
This year it'll be held on Saturday, October 29th. So,
It's tomorrow.
if you want to get going,
It's
and let's
tomorrow.
say you live in New York and you want to be part of this, you better get moving.
Wow. Well, I guess it's a neat tradition, you know.
Nothing wrong with it.
No, zombies. Zombie.
There's zombies.
I think it's pretty cool. I don't know. So I think, yeah, like you said, you could do it one year, sort of like being in a parade. You
Yeah.
know, what do you want to be in the parade or you want to watch it? It's like, I prefer to watch it, but you could dress up as a zombie and watch it.
That number 20,000, is that 20,000 every year? Or 20,000 since 2009?
No, 20,000 every year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's-
Between the people
that's-
that do the walk and people that watch.
That's a small city of people going down the street.
Yeah.
That's going to look pretty cool.
And Phoenix is pretty big. So now my sister really wants to go and do this because she lives in Mesa. So she's like all pumped. In fact, she was so excited. She's sitting there clapping. She's like, oh, check it out, check it out. It was so fun. She looked like a little kid going to, like, I don't know, Great America or something. I don't know if she's going to do it, but I was like, oh my gosh. I think that's pretty neat. So
Before you read your next part, I really want to give a shout out
to who?
to Chili.
To Chili the dog.
Chili the dog. Tell them about Chili.
Our notes are going to be scattered tonight because I didn't get to finish because a dog showed up on my lawn and it was the cutest little dog. Like, he didn't even have any legs. It was really weird.
Yeah, he was part, what was he?
Like Dachshund, Dachshund and Wiener
dog.
dog.
So he only had like 4-inch legs.
No, not even.
Yeah, they were really little legs.
And he had arthritis, so he could barely walk. And but he was such a cute puppy. And we drove around for hours looking for owners, trying to feed this
What are
dog.
you talking about? I was driving around with you. I was walking around.
I know, but I mean, I'm saying before that.
You said you. You. It's always about you. What about me?
Before you got home, I had to sit on the deck because
That
our
dog
dog
smelled.
Oh, he was a cute dog.
It's a cute dog.
His
He
name was
smelled
Chili because a neighbor or somebody of the guy who had him led him to our house.
We drove around.
I'm sure these people aren't going to care
They
about all
care.
this.
No, it's important. You people want to know this, and this is why you tune in. Because we drove around and we asked different people, and somewhere along the line, the owner of the dog driving around asking about the dog said, hey, somebody had your dog. And then that guy had to drive around. We have a subdivision. And had to drive around and find our car because he didn't know where we lived.
Yep.
To show the guy where his dog was.
And I had to call the police, tell them not to come to pick up the dog.
So here we have this little geriatric dog.
Aw.
Short legs, arthritis, smelled horrible. Nice little dog, though. He really
Sweet.
was.
He lick. He
And
looked
here
you know
comes
what he
this-
did? He looked like the dog in what's with the reindeer? Oh, what was that
Are you
movie?
talking about the Grinch?
Over the Hedge? No,
Oh.
not Over the Hedge. Yeah, it was Over the Hedge or something. And the mom had that little dog. He looked like that dog. He was so
Great,
cute.
Heidi.
Okay,
Anyway,
sorry.
so finally this guy comes and here comes this Mexican guy full of tattoos,
Huge belt buckle,
big bell buckle.
mean looking.
Hey, you got my dog.
We were like, whoa.
Really, really nice guy, but you just expect something else out of a guy
With this particular
with this
dog.
persona. It's like, really, this little guy here, his name is Chili. It's like, wow, this
That
is
was great.
great.
That was-
only happened to us. So he was really happy to get his dog. I'm glad too because
He was a sweet
he wasn't
puppy.
doing well with our dog, so we were going to keep him here and put a sign in the yard. Blah 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 blah. But it all worked out well. So.
Yeah. So are you happy now that you
I'm
gave
happy.
Chili
You guys
the
hear
dog
about
a
Chili the
shout out?
dog.
And he doesn't even listen because he's a dog, but you had to give him a shout out.
Yeah.
He's a cute puppy. All right, so back to real life.
That was
A
real
woman
fun.
is burned for witchcraft.
Much more pleasing story, right?
But we got to be along the supernatural paranormal line. So, yeah. Okay, so
Chili levitated.
you haven't really heard about, stuff like this happening except for in Salem. And people don't think that this stuff happens anymore. But when you research other countries and I mean, this stuff actually happens. You just don't hear about it. In this particular case, they got caught. A 73-year-old woman named Rosa Viller, Jerichoanka, she was accused of making people sick by witchcraft. And they don't get specific. I've tried to figure out how she supposedly made them sick, and I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. It could be she was trying to make them herbs, like natural herbs and stuff, and maybe in this particular area, that's a no-no. But her community allegedly ended up torching her.
Wow.
It happened in the Amazon, September 20th.
They said she was a pretty hot chick.
Oh, that's not nice.
But
A cell phone video shot by a witness was given to prosecutors. So, I mean, when you see all these news stories about people getting hit by cars and people getting kidnapped, and then you see all these idiots not helping them but filming it on, I got to Facebook this, right?
that's horrible.
Well, I guess that happens in the Amazon, too, because while these people were torching her, people filmed it on their phones. Didn't even know phones worked in the Amazon.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, well,
I guess it must be near a city that has towers. And stuff.
or it could be like a real bling thing. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, so the video was shot by a witness, given to prosecutors. And I guess Rosa was tied to a pile of dry logs and branches. And then you see in the video that a man immerses the logs and Rosa with gasoline. And then another man throws a lit match onto the bonfire. Rosa can be heard screaming in the video, and they actually burned her for 3 days straight. Now, authorities say that they think that they burned her for 3 days straight just to make sure that her bones and her flesh and everything
was totally gone
for no evidence. However, in these practices, I do know that when you've got these I don't know, what do you call them, like little tribes that do this stuff.
Sure.
They do it. They're very spiritual, so it's not like it's a bunch of Christians mad at somebody for doing tarot cards. They take this stuff extremely seriously, and they will burn them for 3 days, 3 being this crazy magic number with spiritual stuff, because they wanted to make sure that her spirit was gone.
Dead.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, the police can, obviously it's a crime and it was totally wrong, but in this tribe, I mean, they're in their own little world over there,
Well, you don't know. I mean, Rosa could have had a very, fiery personality.
Oh, God, you're going to fire him. So impressed. All right, so, anyways, police were notified about the incident, and on the scene, they found a community log that recorded the decision to burn her. So they actually had a little trial.
Yeah.
It specified that a majority vote ultimately sentenced her, and the community leaders signed the decree for the judgment to take place. The document stated that the punishment was set as an example to the community and other communities against this kind of damage. Now, remember, they were accusing her of making people sick, but we don't know what she supposedly was doing.
Yeah, we don't know. For all we know, maybe she
and
was.
even if she was, you don't burn somebody. I mean,
well,
that's
we
world.
talked about this the other day, and if society, and I'm not saying no, this is not the way you go about it. However, I bet you if she was doing something wrong or for real, I bet you nobody else is going to be doing it.
Right.
I mean, it's just that there's places in Saudi Arabia and different places like that the crime, the punishment fits the crime, and they have a very, very low
crime rate. Yeah, because if you steal, you get your hand cut off. If you boink somebody that you're not supposed to, you get your junk cut off. They do that. And with women,
boink and junk, we've come a long ways.
And with women, they actually clamp their vajayjay. If women sleep with guys before they're married and stuff.
Wow. See, but I mean, there you go. Here we are. We live in one of the countries with the highest pregnancy rate, and
because we just let everybody do whatever they want.
And we've had an increase of STDs.
Yeah.
I think it's been 30% increase over the last year or something.
But there is a difference between, and I know that a lot of our listeners are very, agnostic, spiritual. They're all different. We have so many different types of listeners, and a lot of people, when we did our Salem Witch...
Most of them have ears, though.
When we did the Salem Witch Trial one, we had a lot of people that were angry at our podcast, and a lot of people agreed with us, a lot of people disagreed, and they felt that we were making fun of, and it's just our personalities. We're not trying to make fun of it. So, a lot of people...
They heard the disclaimer in the beginning.
They didn't then, not during that one.
But don't listen to the disclaimer, and then it's not my fault.
But point being that this is a part of the world that lives by their own rules, and they're very spiritual. So it's not like they were doing
it out of
a meanness,
or
racist.
that's the way they do it.
Yeah, it's
they're like,
not.
Just because,
And,
not the way we do it.
And when you are practicing witchcraft in their view, and like I said, I don't know what she was doing, if she was doing anything at all, but that's almost who you are. It's a spiritual thing versus going around stealing. That's a conscious choice. But like me, I was practicing witchcraft when I was like 8 years old.
You could fit into this category.
Right. I could be burned
in a lot of places
back in the day. I don't do that stuff anymore.
Stoned or hung or whatever, but
right.
Just because
it's who you are, it's not a choice. I guess for some people it's a choice.
Cool, I can't help it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm cool.
You're cool like that.
Yeah.
I'm cool like that.
I'm cool like that.
You cool like that.
I'm cool like that.
All right, so it just really sucks. And I guess indigenous, that's the word I was thinking of, the indigenous
tribe. You just
tribe.
want to use that word because we love that word, indigenous.
Yeah, how do we never even use that word?
We use all that. We always watch them survival shows.
Oh, they do use indigenous.
And they talk about the indigenous species, the indigenous
Not indigenous.
It is when there's plural, many of them.
Oh, okay. Well, in another community in 2015, a pregnant woman was accused of witchcraft, and she was beaten so badly she miscarried.
See, pregnant woman, that's...
And when you beat somebody like that, that's
now
an anger...
You're affecting 2 lives.
Yeah.
Not 1.
Right. Well, it's hard because, it's totally different.
It's the way things are done in other places.
Yeah, well, I'm going to stay out of the Amazon because they probably wouldn't like our show.
They get too many mosquitoes.
Oh, yeah. All right, so our next story... Cut for Beyonce. So last week, while performing at a concert, Beyonce had an onstage mishap. Her hair got caught in her earring, causing her ear to rip during her performance. So her ear began bleeding, and I guess pretty profusely because people in the audience noticed. But she kept on performing, and a fan in the audience decided to, and she's probably not the only one, began tweeting about it. And somehow it morphed into a statement. So tweets came out, hashtag cut for Beyonce and hashtag bleed for Beyonce. And that began trending on Twitter. So guess what? You've got people who started cutting themselves for Beyonce.
Oh, man.
So some assert that the hashtags were just a joke, but that's exactly what makes this situation or the whole thing an issue because self-harm is a serious matter, and cutting is a trend along with young kids, and I know people do it, and I mean the Bible even talks about people who cut. It's a demonic spirit that'll make you cut. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff. So the fact that they would do this for a singer, when you got people with deep issues of pain, the hashtags can make light of the act, but when you're encouraging fans to actually cut themselves for Beyonce, that's just stupid and dangerous. But it's also dangerous to joke about mental health too, and when you post photos of self-harm and cutting, even if they're fake, and that's what these people are doing. So I cut for Beyonce, so they cut themselves and take pictures of themselves bleeding, and I'm just like, wow, really? So I don't know, if someone is dealing with self-harm or they have dealt with it, they're not going to appreciate seeing stuff like this. And when you're glorifying these struggles and you joke about it, making light of it, not good. So in tweets like this, especially ones with the photos, can trigger those who have gone through self-harm to I guess, I was going to say reopen a wound, but that I did not mean that. I actually was going to say that because I'm dumb. I can't believe I was going to say that off the top of my head. I'm like, yeah, no pun intended. So I am someone who used to self-harm, so I'm not making fun of it. But
I do every day. It's called work.
Yeah, that you do.
Okay.
Now, but when people, we've talked in past podcasts about, we've dealt with a lot of people who were spiritually oppressed with spirits.
Absolutely.
And cutting was a main factor with a lot of them. So, okay, our next one. Clowns. You could read my notes, but good luck.
Clowns. Kemper County in Mississippi has just banned clowns till after Halloween. I told you this was going to happen.
I know you
They have to. I don't see what choice they have. Nope. They say that they've had enough of the creepy clown craze. So for safety reasons, they're temporarily preventing people from dressing as clowns. So if anyone's caught in public wearing a clown costume, mask, makeup, that they could be facing a $150 fine. Aside, the fact crazy people have been jumping on the fear factor of the clown sightings.
Well, that's what's going on.
The town feels that they could react badly if they get scared by a clown on the street or in the yard. So, South Carolina, 2 clowns tried to lure a little boy into the woods. Florida, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, school districts from Colorado, New York were hit with killer clown treats.
Threats.
A clown. Oh.
Threats.
Oh,
They don't give away killer clown treats like Scooby Snacks.
Hey, I'm not slow.
Here's a good little clown. Here's a little treat.
I just got what they call a relaxed brain. I can read.
I like it, though. Killer clown treats.
There's an H in there. I see it now. Oh, so wonderful. A clown holding a knife threatened a teenager on the New York City subway train. The sales of evil clown masks are super high. School districts, festivals, whole counties across the country are banning clown costumes this year. Nationally, hysteria over killer clowns. New Jersey, Denver, Colorado, Pennsylvania,
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Now here in Wisconsin, in our town, there were clown threats, and at the school, it was on paper. And then they now also have said that at our schools and stuff in Racine, you can't dress as a clown or anything, or for Halloween, same thing. So we're one of those.
You know, you hate for
sucks.
all the government to
Bad
have to get
apple
involved
again.
in some stuff, but you won't know good from bad. And if someone sees a scary-looking clown, what would you do if you're walking along? Let's say you've got your little 5 and 6-year-old with you, and you're going door to door, and you see some freaky, scary, not the typical Ronald McDonald clown, but no, the scary kind. It's like, what are you gonna do? Oh, hi. Whoa, you don't know. Maybe they are a bad guy, just taking the opportunity to have all these people on the streets.
What's the thing here in our city where it someone who called and said that if kids go trick or treating, that they're going to be attacked by clowns. And so now everybody's like, do I let my kids go trick or treating?
Right. You can say, oh, come on. Well, you just don't know. This whole clown thing has given everybody that are bad guys opportunity to totally disguise themselves.
Yes.
You won't know color, won't know race. You may not even know height if they got a big...
Even if it's a male or female.
Right, male or female. You may not know even height. Got a big, huge clown hair or hat on. Wow.
They won't know if they have a big nose or a little nose.
Right.
Big feet, little feet. They won't know if they have a white face or a black face. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Well, let's talk about some of these clown sightings, shall we?
All right, let's do it.
This all began a long, long time ago in a galaxy. No, that's another show.
Yeah.
Many thought it was a silly little prank or a...
stunt to generate...
generate publicity for maybe a new movie or something. But no matter why it started, it's grown, and it's now in our lives.
There's been numerous sightings and clown-related threats, clown robberies, and incidents involving children, and the police and community are on edge. Now, wasn't that like a normal thing to wear a clown mask, or no? Or that was just like to wear plastic masks?
Well, they used to wear like famous people,
like Nixon
or Reagan masks to rob banks, and I know I did it a few times.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. That's right,
But there is, there's that underlying fear of clowns. There's a lot of people who
I'm not afraid of clowns, Heidi.
I know you're not, but in general, people are. You know what, though? Even me, okay? I'm even on edge. I go out to the car the other night at I don't even know, it was like 9:30, and I think I was looking for something in my car, and it was dark. And I was more concerned if a clown was going to come up behind me and jack me or something. I'm like, what is going on? Than what I was looking for. That's stupid. I should not be afraid of clowns. Are you kidding me? This is so dumb.
I wish everybody out there could see her face.
What? What's so funny? I am serious. I should not be afraid of clowns. I'm 45 years old. What is going on in this world that we have to protect ourselves from clowns? These clowns
are not going to hurt you, but I will get my room back at the White House.
You could build a wall. You want
No, that is Trump's job.
to build a wall around the clown.
I just invite people over.
And then they have groups that are talking about Clown Lives Matters, and then they're having parades for clowns. And I'm like, oh come on, this is crazy. And then we talked about because we've been talking about this clown thing since it began. Like a while
back.
When it
first started, yeah. I said that
because it started here in Green Bay.
It was going to turn into something worse. It's not going to stop.
And I did think it simmered down, but I guess not.
They simmered down, but we don't know we don't know who's going to do what.
Right.
It's just opportunity. Well, I think enough of it's going on now what's going to happen? Let's say if I was a police officer and I seen someone walking down the street dressed as a clown for no reason, I'm stopping them.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask questions. I want to see IDs.
Everybody hates the police now. Like,
I would, because I'm like, well, I don't know what you're doing, and are you going to a costume party? Where do you live? I mean, doesn't mean I'm throwing them in jail, but I mean, I want to know.
There's going to be like frisk and carry for clowns now. I mean, they're carrying machetes.
You don't have a choice.
What clown is carrying a machete? I mean, that's not normal.
You're not allowed to carry a machete anyway.
Right. So whether you're a clown or not, but just the whole I could see Halloween, fine, but normal everyday life, clowns don't walk around in the woods.
Clowns should not carry machetes during Halloween either.
No, I didn't mean that. I just meant that would be more acceptable. I mean,
Clowns got a
if
machete,
you saw
Santa Claus got a machine gun. This whole thing's absolutely out of control, people.
If you are walking down the street on Halloween, trick-or-treating, and you see a clown with a machete...
That won't be me. I am way too old to go trick-or-treating.
You wouldn't think anything of it. Now, people are doing it just
if
in the
you
daylight.
see me walking down the street at Halloween trick-or-treating, yeah, you should be afraid. Because something's not right with me going trick-or-treating.
I know. But, well, here, talk about what happened in June.
Well, back in June, here in the Big WI... Wisconsin, Gags the Green Bay Clown. Gained viral status after photos of the clown surfaced walking the streets with black balloons in the early hours.
But that was found out to be people trying to... I think they were trying to generate something for like a documentary or a movie that they were trying to do. And they came forward right away and said, whoa, we weren't trying to freak people out. We didn't know people were going to, they were doing something for that. But it lasted for a couple days all over the internet. So then people sort of hopped on that and was like, oh, let's do it. Next thing you know, you got, and then it just went into threats and robberies. And I mean, August 30th, clowns try to lure those kids in the woods in South Carolina, like you said. September 14th, clowns chase kids waiting for school bus in Georgia. September 21st, clowns chase kids into the woods in Pennsylvania. And imagine how...
This is all over the country.
And kids are probably going to be traumatized by this. Between two Phoenix school districts, 24 schools were named in a multitude of threats posted online. And 3 students were arrested. And in Ohio and Tennessee, same thing. You can do...
okay.
Oh, you do Arizona.
Arizona robberies with clown masked people. Long Island, New York, law enforcement had several calls related to clown threats. Robbery with a bomb in Tennessee. A clown stabbed to death a teen in Philadelphia at the end of September. October 3rd. Clown threatens in Philly target schools. Okay, it happened in Philly.
A clown.
Hey, why are you picking on
clown
the way
threats in Philadelphia?
Next day, same thing in Indiana. Same thing in Chicago. Same day, we had a mom in a California flights off a clown attempting to kidnap her 1-year-old daughter.
See,
that's what I mean. You could have a kidnapper. Mm-hmm. You could have a child molester.
Right.
You could have just
serial
murderer.
They're seeing an easy way to do this now.
It's going to get stupid here.
But
they're going to start
the problem.
having to say that you cannot ever. Can you imagine the handful of people out there, or actually more than that? There's plenty of people that go for hire, that go to costume party or birthday parties for small children, and they hire a clown.
Yep.
They've lost their jobs. No clowns here.
No one wants.
Nope. You can dress as an octopus.
Yeah, rodeo clowns, gone.
Well, rodeo clowns.
Nope, gone.
Gone.
But now, being a clown...
Wrong.
is so negative now that
Yeah.
I guess it's going to do the opposite effect, where if you're a child molester or a killer and you're walking around as a clown, people are going to catch you before you even do anything, because now it's got so much exposure.
It's going to be a phase, but when does the phase end, and how far does it go before?
What if
that way?
you're in the post office and a clown walks in? I'm out of there. Like today, I'm at Walmart. All electricity goes out. I really thought clowns were gonna be running around, and I was scared.
That was a weird thing. All the power went out. You told me in the entire store except
one register.
One register.
I thought it was the Russians with that zzz thing.
No,
what is that called?
With the Russians.
We blame Putin.
Do not blame my brother Putin. Putin is a good man.
Well, okay, so
I like him a lot.
Also, a 13-year-old girl asked a clown to kill her teacher.
Oh.
Yeah. She just walked up to this
random clown.
Yeah. And assumed, hey, clowns kill people.
Oh, there you go.
The next day, which was, that happened on October 6th.
Wow, I didn't know about that one.
And the next day on October 7th, right here in Wisconsin, parents left their 4-year-old home by himself, okay, to pull clown pranks. Okay, that's just stupid. The next day, a clown was seen clinging to the back of a moving bus in Detroit.
Funny.
Just last week in L.A., a clown ran off from a man who fired his gun in the air at it. This is happening in Russia?
Russia?
Now, Australia? Told you Putin's involved.
Not pick on the Putin.
In Google Crimes with clowns, people are being killed. Target pulled clown masks down from the shelves.
Yeah, they don't have a choice.
No.
Don't.
But,
And that's
however, I think it was, I don't know now. There was a store, and I want to say it's Walgreens, but I could be wrong. There's a store that said, oh, everybody's buying clown masks. We're keeping them on because they're making so much money. So they don't care. So
well, it's not like you're selling drugs. It's like, you can't always be responsible for what somebody else is going to do with something innocent. We could take anything and make it wrong.
Right.
If I decided to go on some kind of thing where we're going to start killing people with Coke cans, just Coke cans, not Pepsi, not RC, nothing else. Well, if it went nationwide and everybody was using Coke cans to kill somebody, do you think that wouldn't cause a problem?
Did you say RC? Does anybody
They know
drink
what RC is. I was thinking,
we don't drink soda, so you could have said Sprite, Dr. Pepper, but you said RC.
Don't pick on RC. How about Jolly Good?
What about Jolt with some Pop Rocks? And then you slam the Jolt, and your brain was supposed to explode.
Really?
Yeah, you never heard that.
Is that what happened to you?
No. What? No.
Huh?
What?
Go ahead. No?
All right. Here's something. Is this a case of possession? I am going to put the pictures.
Are you really going to do it this time? Or are you going to wait till one of our people actually email you and say, hey, you never put the pictures up?
That's never happened. I always put the pictures up.
No, you're wrong.
Oh, really? How do you know? Do you read
Because you
read
told me.
emails? No, that didn't happen.
It
That was
happen.
a dream. It was a dream.
Was that dream? You told me. They had to let you know. You're like, oh, jeez, I forgot.
It happened once. I'm going to put the video and the pictures up. And I watched the video. I did not believe this person was possessed. Not saying she wasn't. But you guys watch the video and tell me what you think. It began at the annual celebration of Saint Paraskiva, which is, I guess, the patron of Metropolitan Cathedral in Lassi. It's Romania, okay? Over 300,000 Christians were at this festival or whatever, recognizing this Saint Paraskiva. So I don't know, they were doing some kind of tradition thing. A woman started screaming at the top of her lungs in the streets, because this was outside. She was taken through the streets by the police then, okay, because they were trying to get her to an ambulance. They thought she was going crazy, like, oh, what's wrong with this chick? Well, it ended up that they were riot policemen, so they didn't really know. I mean, cops really aren't really supposed to be able to handle possession. So they decided to take her to a first aid point for the ambulance to pick her up. But the first aid point happened to be in the courtyard of the church, all right? There, another woman stopped the officers, and she made them take this supposedly possessed woman to the religious relics. So, they've got all these religious relics going on. And, of course, it's a glass coffin containing the relics, because what better way to honor people than to, hone over dead things?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I just don't get that. But the older woman insisted that this chick go there, and the cops brought her. They were like probably overwhelmed with people. They
Yeah,
didn't know
right.
what
What
to
to
do.
do,
And when you
right?
see the video, you'd see she's like the typical Romanian woman that you'd see like in Young Frankenstein or something. I mean, just like, she's, she got the droopy face and the nose and the white hair, and she's like in this like little black shroud. Yes,
man.
Looks just like it. But she took this supposedly possessed woman's face and pressed it down on this glass case, and this woman screamed, "Ah!" She's all screaming like she's crazy or something.
Yeah.
And then she sort of just calmed down, and all of a sudden it looked like she just stopped and collapsed, and that was it. It just stopped. So, and the thing is, that's very possible because we have seen people with possessed, but also when we've seen possession, voices change. There's more of a violence.
She became Romanian.
She was already Romanian.
Oh,
yeah.
my bad.
So I don't know if she was possessed or not. By watching the video, I'm like, nah. However, we do notice something that we've
Yes,
mentioned.
many a times we've mentioned.
What is it?
I don't know, but I just went along with you, and it sounded good. And
Oh,
I
well, you
wanna
made it
make
sound
the-
good.
Yes, it's great.
When people honor the dead
Come on,
and little statues,
statues, small.
don't we see a lot of possession cases? With
Well, anytime you're breaking the first commandment, you're going to have an issue.
yeah, but specifically with with people who are honoring the dead, honoring saints, every time you hear about these possession, they're very strong, whether it be Catholic, and I don't know what other religions do this, but when you're honoring the dead like that,
Right.
it seems to be that this opens demonic
Right.
doors.
Yeah.
Because there's always a connection. So, very interesting. So, if they were doing that at this particular thing, at this huge event, maybe, I don't know, maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. Who knows? So, what do you think?
I think that the world is really nice.
I thought you were going to say a vampire.
I did that already. I had to change my mind in midstream. I wasn't prepared for this. I'm in such deep concentrational thought right now in world things that I just want to. Yeah.
All right. You're feeling deep. Well, you know what? You can transfer that over to some emails.
Good. No thinking involved. I can just read.
I will read one. You can read one.
We'll take turns. We'll share.
Oh, sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. It's
Okay.
twice as fun.
I heard you all talk
when
about
you
that.
do it with more than one.
I heard you all talk about that girl who got rid of Crohn's disease when she got rid of all her dark magic junk. Are you saying that Crohn's disease specifically is caused by the occult? Or why do you connect the two? Just really curious about this because I do believe there's a connection between the spirit realm and our earthly realm. So this makes sense. I just never heard the sickness part of it before. Thanks. Love your show a lot. Tony J, I won't say your last name, from Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit.
All right, well,
Steel mill worker.
I guess with Crohn's disease, that was...
You said Crohn's disease, she said, but I'm basically all disease.
Yeah.
But
It was that particular
specifically,
case.
I remember the episode.
Right,
Yeah.
and I don't think that when someone's doing dark stuff that they're going to get Crohn's disease.
No.
It just happened to be they thought she had Crohn's disease based off her symptoms. So I don't know if she had it or the doctors just said, we don't know what she has. We think
But
it's
she's
Crohn's
asking,
disease.
she wants to know if there's a connection between the two. She kind of feels that there is. And,
Between sickness
that and fibromyalgia and some of these diseases which are just, crippling and so...
migraines,
But
sleep disorders.
Basically, if you take anything negative, it's going to have something attached to it.
Right.
Now, part of it's just the world we live in. We live in a faltered, cracked world. There's a lot of issues, problems, there's a lot of sin, there's a lot of, wrongdoings every single day, nonstop, in every corner of the world. And we live within that. So if, the idea is if we're walking through the junkyard, or let's not say the junkyard, let's say we're walking through, where you throw our garbage, the garbage dump. Mm-hmm. And you walk through that every day and you're saying, you know what, I got clean shoes on and I'm not doing anything. You're probably going to get sick eventually.
Yeah.
Because you're walking through it. So now you get people you're going to get, some people are just going to have certain sicknesses because we live in this world. Others get involved in different things. And there's all sorts of minions out there that are willing to attach themselves and just bring you down. That's the only thing the adversary is interested in, is bringing you down. Physically, spiritually, mentally, whatever it takes.
And I will say that there is not one person out there who has dealt with dark practices that has not been affected by spirit physically. So there's not going to be anybody who does this stuff and they get away scot-free.
I can say I would not totally agree with you on that.
Well, you're wrong.
Well, wrong.
Wrong.
Because there are those who do some of these things, practice it, and they personally aren't affected, but some of those that are around them may be.
No.
So they may not have the personal affliction going on, but people within their family, their wives, their husbands, children, suddenly they have something going on, and they never ever tie it together.
So are you saying though that person will never get some kind of physical illness because
it's possible? Why not?
Oh, I disagree because there's repercussions to this stuff.
Right, and sometimes if the adversary has got a tool, a finely machined tool,
right,
that it absolutely does everything it wants it to do, he is not going to destroy that tool, but he's going to make sure he destroys.
But God will
open that door.
God will.
Well, God could say, it wasn't mine to begin with. You didn't. This soul was never mine.
But God cares about everybody.
Does, but He will use the bad for the good.
Well, I still think that there is repercussions.
Let me ask you what you think. Do you think that this individual that maybe has practiced things will? You're saying they're going to be sick. Is that what you think?
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
You can't pull the rock on me. You can't pull the rock on me. Are you kidding me? You can't see me. God, you don't know me. But yes, I just think that. But it's interesting that we have different views on that. But I just think that when you...
Yeah, it's, the thing is, my view is usually right, and yours is usually wrong.
No, I just make you think you're right for your ego. Are you going to read the next one? Is that why you took the paper?
I took the paper because I didn't want you, taking my thunder. You're a thunder sealer. That's what you are.
Well,
I'm taking
I'm
over.
lightning, because thunder always comes after lightning. Pachow! That's from
Cars.
It's from Disney.
All right, here's the next one. What's up, Scott and Heidi? I think your show is one of the best podcasts I have ever. I know.
Our thing goes way up.
Way up because coolness has arrived. Now I got to start over. So what you see in the chart, blowing people's ears out, I'm gonna do it again. So I got to start all over. What's up? Your show is one of the best.
Go ahead. One of the best. Sorry, go ahead. I was kidding. Oh, it's okay, honey.
How many times have you interrupted me?
A lot. I'm so excited to be on air.
Well, you know what? You're gonna be.
I love you.
You're gonna be by yourself on the air in a minute.
I'll make you a pumpkin spice smoothie later. Okay.
Stop it. Oh, I think your show is one of the best podcasts I've ever heard in a long, 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 long time.
Did he put that? Long?
No, but I did. Thanks for the laughs and for Scott. He's awesome. And all the information
you can't read this
give.
Stuff. You're incorrect.
Always fascinating to hear him. Interesting stuff. I'm ready to ask you a question about your experiences.
I don't even know what this person
with
really
what
wrote.
you call generational curses and night terrors. What's the difference between night terror and a nightmare? And how do you know when you fall under a generational curse?
We actually did 2 separate shows on that.
Yes, we have.
So let's see. Okay, generational curses. Okay, so first, night terrors and nightmares. Nightmares are psychological, mental, and that's where the fear stays. But night terrors are spiritual manifestations into the physical realm where we're physically affected by a spiritual thing. So you could have bruises, you could see, you'll be, sleep paralysis comes along with it. You'll see a lot of times some kind of spirit, scary spirit. You get sick, you get drained.
Sick, something, pain, physical pain.
Yeah. So
you could wake up the next day and be in a lot of physical pain or have something that's unexplained bruising, marks, cuts, scratches.
And they're supposedly like 10 times more scary than nightmares.
Because many of us will have nightmares, and, sometimes they'll go a day or so and you'll be forgotten all about it.
Yeah.
But if you're going into night terrors, you probably won't forget it.
Yeah.
And we've all had a few.
Yes.
So
And night terrors are, I think, specifically
How she say night terrors or he? I don't even know if it's a he or she.
Oh, I don't even think there's a name on it.
It says I don't know if this is.
Nope, that's
for
this
one.
one.
But that one, yeah, it's some kind of a name.
Yeah, so I think that I think that night terrors are a specific connection to something evil, and you're just affected.
Yeah, a
by
nightmare
it.
can be a
Give me your own
correlation of
mind.
a whole bunch of different things put together.
Right.
I mean, there's times I think we've all had dreams or nightmares where you say I was scared in the dream, and then you start explaining it, realizing the whole thing makes absolutely no sense. It's all boggled up, but somehow you were afraid in your dream.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a nightmare and didn't go so well. Terrors, you know the details. You know.
Yeah,
what went
you
on,
know.
and you're not happy about it. Yeah. So.
And with generational curses, all you have to do is research as much as you can your family history and ancestry.
You're not stuck into this thing. Anybody that even feels like, let's say, something off the wall, I mean, let's say your mother and father were involved in major witchcraft and they held seances and they did everything wrong that you can possibly imagine. I don't think you're doomed and gloomed.
Right.
Grace can come upon you. You're just going to have to seek it.
Right.
You're going to have to you're going to have to seek God. You're going to have to fix it, if
Yeah.
you will. So the generational curse can stop.
Well, and there's spirits of all kinds of things, not just witchcraft. There's a spirit of alcoholism, a spirit of fear.
Yep.
You know, there's a spirit of, and I don't know what spiritually you would call it, but people who have bipolar and stuff. I mean, this is all spiritual.
The alcoholism was a good one. I mean, how many people who have alcoholism will say, well, your father was an alcoholic and his father was an alcoholic.
Right.
And you're saying that it's in your genes at this point? No, it's not.
No.
But the curse is there. Or part of it's you're grown into, too, if you see it growing up. You're going to adopt that. So, but it can be a curse for you, too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And the things that make you not act like yourself. And I do know, too, that, and I'm still sort of researching this out because I'm on the fence with, I don't know necessarily if I believe that we have a physical gene in our body that is carried over to our children. So if I'm an alcoholic at some point in my life, that gene is going to go to them and they're going to become an alcoholic. Yeah. I don't know if I believe that. Spiritually, it's in the Bible about not alcoholism, but about the spiritual curses and things like that.
But that becomes more of a spiritual generational curse.
Right.
It's not something that's automatically attached to you.
Yeah.
It's like, because otherwise you'd be doomed and gloomed.
So for whoever,
there'd be no way you could ever get rid of it. If it was part of your body, it'd be nothing you could do. But
yeah,
don't have to be that.
And I don't know. I don't have a name here. And if I did, I would have put it. So maybe they just didn't put their name. But the thing is with this is that whatever the issue is. So if you're asking this, it's either for you or for somebody else, perhaps. I would say whatever the issue is. Let's just say it's alcoholism, and I'm just throwing that. I don't know, but if someone in your family had it and before, it can trickle down to you and you can stop it so that your kids don't have it. And I mean, I fell under a lot of different things, and then there's people who've been through trauma and they become an alcoholic because of it. That doesn't mean that they're under a generational curse. That's a trauma. But if you are this alcoholic and you don't know why, but your dad was and your grandpa and, that can be a generational curse. Find out a little bit about their lives, what they partake in, stuff like that. But yeah, you can stop it. And I always tell people to read the Book of Psalms because there's a lot of stuff in there that can break curses and that can really help you by reading that. So that's what I suggest. I'll read. Do you want to read the next one from Lonnie in Philadelphia?
Didn't I read?
Okay, I read. Hey, TSR, great show. I listen every week. Not many compare to yours. I don't always agree with you, but I totally know you know what you're talking about. Over 20 years in the field, I can see why you have such cool stories and info. Wholeheartedly, I believe in demons, but here's my question posed to you. Why do some people who work as psychics not get attacked? Oh, you started to answer this already. Yeah. Do not get attacked by the demons they get their knowledge from, but regular people do, like those who use spirit boards and stuff. Yeah. thanks, I'll be listening. That's
I
Lonnie
kind
in
of answered
Philadelphia.
that in a way, and
Right.
it's about the tool. I mean, if you're the tool that the adversary wants to use,
Yeah, if you're being effective,
he's
they're not going to mess
not
with
going to
you.
destroy you until your effectiveness has worn off.
And then with other
And
people,
the same thing with God works the same way. When God finds people who are obedient to His word and He puts them in places and directions to do His will.
yeah,
It's no different. It's no different anywhere. Same thing with the military, with workers at places. When you find the people to do your job, you use them. Period.
if they're
It's simple.
effective, you encourage them more to do more.
Absolutely. It's a very basic concept.
So demons
And so-
will feed their tool.
Yep.
Yeah. And then when you have, it says regular people, why don't they, attack, or why do they attack regular people? Yeah, because they're just toying with them. They like to cause fear and anger, and they like to mess with people and people's lives.
Chaos. They love
Chaos.
chaos and problems.
Yeah. And
Negativity, confusion.
so they're not
fear.
necessarily a tool, but a toy.
All these different things the adversary's part of. Loves all them negative things.
Yeah.
Watching you run around in circles, chasing your tail.
Hi, my name is Amaya, and we
I'm just
just
fine. How are you?
moved to New Orleans last year with my granny.
Oh.
I have to ask you what you think of this. My grandmother makes these comments about New Orleans being cursed with natural disasters because of their voodoo practices. What do you think of that? There are some parts here that are very deep into gross stuff. I'm talking blood, zombie powder, and real-life curses. And it's scary. I never know who I should be friends with, any way I can tell. So a couple questions in here. Any place in New Orleans can be one of them, too, that,
We've talked about this many years ago.
yeah, a lot of, if there's a lot of activity of negative things, it's going to draw up a lot of negativity
Absolutely.
of spirits.
Back to the garbage dump.
Yeah.
You're walking around in there long enough, you're gonna get something.
So God could very well be,
Sure.
just trying to wipe stuff
You
out.
look at
I
some
don't
of the
know.
places that have been destroyed or severely
Indonesia
damaged.
and Haiti?
Some of these places, and
Yeah.
look what they practice. Does that mean we don't have natural disasters and problems other places? Absolutely not. It's part
We
of
do,
it's part of
sure.
our world. It's part of what's going to happen in the end times. It's part of our weather. We have to deal with it. But when you have, you'll go back to Sodom and Gomorrah in the
Yeah.
Bible. What happened? God couldn't find any righteous people worth saving the city. So He destroyed that. Well, He doesn't necessarily have to go destroy all living things every time, but so yeah, He throws wrath and different things at places.
Yep.
And so grandmother in this case is right, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. Because when you practice voodoo, you draw in a lot of evil, and God's got to wipe that out. So
Voodoo. How do you do voodoo?
let's see.
A do, a da.
Oh, and she says, is there any way she can tell? Because she's afraid to make friends. Because
Don't make
she
any
has-
friends. Friends will take from you. They'll want from you. They will suck you dry. They'll be in your wallets. They'll be in your time.
No, that's
They'll
marriage.
be- oh,
Okay, so you know what?
my bad.
As far as friends, you'll know.
They make a show on
You'll
TV
just-
called Friends. That's a nice one. You won't have any effects there that are bad.
You will just feel it. You'll know. And if you have to go with that gut instinct every time.
Just don't go into the grass hut. I'm telling you, stay out of the grass hut.
There's times where you will have a friend and things are going great, and then they say or do something, and maybe it's voodoo or whatever, and you don't dig it. Well, then cut them off immediately. But yeah, it gets scary because you're like, are they going to put a curse on me? So just do it nicely,
Well, if you approach everybody, I think we just had an interesting... We talked about the little dog we found and the guy that picked him up. Here's this tattooed Mexican guy. I'm thinking, nice as pie.
Hardcore.
Great guy.
Hardcore looking.
I was at the store earlier picking up some hardware. I had this really tough, Harley-looking guy. I'm just talking to him like anybody else. They're just regular people. If you don't cause any waves, you may not have any waves.
You can't always
either.
judge a book by its cover
Right,
either.
you can't judge. Even if somebody's practicing voodoo, you don't need to be a part of their life to be nice or talk on the phone and feel it out before you get involved in a more serious relationship.
And if you decide...
Can't live in fear all your life either, but if you have God on your side, you'll have the protection you need to do the right choices, make the right choices.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Okay, last one.
My question to you is this. Do you think using drugs can open up a spiritual gateway? Brian K. Absolutely. Anytime that you bring down or adjust your physicalness, it will affect your mentalness and your spiritualist. It'll affect you in all ways.
Yeah.
We are beings that are all these things in one. And when any one of those things are out of balance or out of sync, you have opened a gateway and a doorway to illness, sickness, spiritual different things. It's all works together. The whole world works together. It's the circle of life, if you will.
Yes, because when you are on drugs, your mind is more open to things that you wouldn't normally be, because it shuts down all our distractions, all our worries and fears, and so you could be more open spiritually. So drugs can definitely, any kind of mind altering influence.
The drugs away, Brian.
And they're bad.
They're bad.
Well, we don't know if Brian's taking drugs.
Brian's taking drugs. He wants to know.
He just wants to know.
I'm putting a wall around
What if
Brian.
he knows somebody?
I'm putting a wall around Brian.
So you got to be really careful, because I do hear. And actually, Brian had a very long email.
Did he?
And so I just took this question because it was at the end. But his email actually talked about the fact that he used to do drugs, and he experienced tons of stuff, and then he stopped, and all the stuff stopped, more or less. That's in a nutshell.
Well,
in a D's nuts.
Here you go again. I wonder too. It's like the drugs will also alter your position in your realm which you live in. So right now, you and I see each other a certain way and view a certain way. Under the influence of drugs, we can hear and see things that could be going on and not necessarily good. Spiritual realm, we know there is millions of angels. There is millions of fallen angels. There is possibly, in my opinion, ghosts and lost spirits that have no place to go till Judgment Day. There is a lot of things. They say sound never really ends, just like light. A light that flashes in the sky now will go on forever. They say sound is never going to really end. It's going to just keep going and going out in space forever and ever and ever. It just keeps going. And so with that in mind, when you're in a different state to the point of hallucinating or in a very deep drug state, you may see and experience things that may just be there, but this is not to your advantage.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Everything can be altered. You can alter all things.
And there's a lot of people that have taken prescription drugs that...
Well, is that what we're calling them now? My friend gave me them. He prescribed them. He says, this will make you feel good. Real good.
No, I meant people who are depressed and have bipolar, schizophrenia. We played a clip a few episodes back where that guy who had schizophrenia and was on drugs... And they interviewed him, and they asked him, well, do the drugs make the visions of the demons stop? And he said, no. They just stop my reaction to them,
right,
more or less.
Right.
Or I don't have to obey them, I think he said.
Yeah, with the drugs, you're not affected as much by what's going on.
Yeah.
And the more like, whatever.
Yeah, so definitely.
So it's a good question, though, because a lot of people don't realize this whole spiritual thing, ghosts, demons, all this stuff is not as complicated as you think. You can open this door very easily. We are spiritual beings, okay, with physical bodies and with a mental state, and any of those things can be adjusted and tweaked. But to be adjusting them in a negative way, expect eventually some sort of negative reaction to you or some of those around you. And the spin stops here.
That's it. We are done with this. Thank you, everyone, for listening tonight. Next week, you have a very cool subject to take on, or a few subjects, I should say. So we will meet you back here next week. Same time, same place, different discussion. And, of course, the supernaturally bizarre.
And remember, if you step into our world of imperfection and madness, you will be accepted well. Our madness will keep you sane.
Hey, this is Heidi from Talk Supernatural. You guys know I like to talk, right? So let's keep the topic going. Like our Facebook page, Talk Supernatural Podcast, and follow us on Twitter at TSR Parapod. Like us, love us, hate us, hit us up with an email, talksupernatural@gmail.com. Listen live on Friday nights and join us in the chat room. We'll make you guys part of the show.
Check out more from Talk Supernatural Radio. Head over to tsradio.net. You can listen to TSR on iTunes, Spreaker, TuneIn, and YouTube. If you have any questions or would like to know more on spiritual afflictions, hauntings, demonic influence, check out Scott and Heidi's SWAT resource site at EPH612SWAT.com.
This world's a tortured place to be. So many things to torment me. And as I stumble down this road, it takes a toll. I need an intervention. But I can see it coming. Some things just can't be explained.
And that's all, folks.